Hey everybody, it's Justice for Comics. It is Saturday morning. Wanted to do this video to highlight some things that are in the news. So I've got a couple of good long-term investments for you to look at, and then one speculation. So we'll kind of go into it here. Obviously, I've got two nice books here. Picked these up probably over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. It took me a while, but I tracked down a really, really nice copy of the new Teen Titans #2. This is the first appearance of Deathstroke. I was real cautious and careful, and this thing is a raw copy, either in 9.6 or 9.8 grade. It's that good. There isn't a spine tick on it. Corners are all sharp, no creases. Interior of the book is white pages. It's one of the best older comics in the best condition that I own is this one. And it's definitely a key book. And I'll go into why I'm highlighting this book. Also, I've got the second appearance in a really high grade of Deathstroke, #10. So there's that book, and then I don't have a lot of Swamp Thing. I've got a few copies. Swamp Thing 37, obviously a lot of people know what this book is. This is the first appearance of Constantine. Same thing, really, really high grade book. This is either a 9.6 or a 9.8. I took a long time to buy this. I was waiting for the right auction, the right book. It took a while, but man, I got the copy I wanted. This thing is in absolute mint condition. And I got a couple other Swamp Thing books. I don't have too many Swamp Thing books. I've got #49. I think that's one of the earlier appearances of the Dark Justice League. I think that might be the first appearance of the Dark Justice League. Yeah, the #50. Either that or I think it, no, I take that back. I think the annual #2 is. So I bought these as a set. They're all really in high grade. They're beautiful shape. But that's the only Swamp Thing comic books I own. So I'm just purchased one last night. This will be my fifth Swamp Thing comic book. So I don't have a lot of Swamp Thing, but what I do have is usually fairly significant first appearance, or just one of the keys to get with Swamp Thing. I don't obviously Swamp Thing the first appearance of Swamp Thing. I don't think I could afford. That book is very, very expensive, even in mid-grade now. All right, so let's jump into it. Why I brought this up? CBR has an article here. Obviously, the new Swamp Thing is coming out on the DC Universe. So I subscribe to that. It's only $8 a month. Doom Patrol alone is worth subscribing to that service. Doom Patrol is awesome. It's just crazy. It's definitely not a conventional show. It's entertaining, it's nuts, it's funny. Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy show. And Titans was okay. That's also on there. That was one of the new shows. I thought that was okay. I didn't think it was fantastic. I like Doom Patrol a lot better. But I am looking forward a lot to the Swamp Thing series that's coming out, I think here in the next few months. And so one of the things they bring out in the article is that this character, a female, is going to be in the show, and her character is Abigail Arcane, or here they say Abby Arcane. So you want to pick up, and this is not, this is speculation, right? This book may not do a whole lot, but I think long term it's a good book to own because it's an early Swamp Thing comic. It's Bernie Wrightson, and I think it's a good long-term investment, is Swamp Thing #3. So I will pull up what that looks like. Images. There we go. So there's the book. I just ordered it last night. Obviously, it's an early 70s book, 1973. So it's pretty old. So finding it in high grade is definitely challenging. I knew I wasn't going to find this in a 9.2, 9.4, 9.6 or higher without paying a lot of money. So there were a couple raw copies that were definitely near mint to near mint plus, but they were $170, $180 or more, which was just a little too much. I didn't want to pay that much. So I looked last night and there was an auction. Luckily, it was ending at like almost 1 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time here. Those are the auctions that you want to bid on because there's not a lot of people that will stay up late to bid on an auction. If the auction ends at 4, 5, 6 o'clock, forget it. I mean, everybody's going to be bidding on that stupid thing. So once in a while, you find somebody that puts a book on that the auction ends late at night or early in the morning. I tend to fall asleep around 10:30, 11 o'clock, so I set my alarm to wake me back up. And I went on and bid, and I got this book in a really, really good grade. I mean, it's definitely very fine to very fine plus. So probably an 8.0 to maybe an 8.5. It had one or two minor spine ticks. The edges were really nice, no big creases or nothing missing in the book. It's a complete book. So yeah, it was probably an 8.0 to an 8.5 range, and I got it for like $26. So I got a really good deal on it. That book easily should be worth 50 to 60 in the condition I bought it in, and I got it for basically half that price. So you can get a really good deal once in a while if you're just patient and you get maybe a little bit of luck. Once in a while I get lucky, which is good. I don't rely on it, but that's definitely a book I think could get some heat on it, mainly because it's the first appearance of that female character that's going to be in the show. There will be some people that will go, hey, I need to look for that. I don't have that particular issue, and it's an early Swamp Thing. So I think if you could somehow collect the first 10, 15 issues of the original Swamp Thing series, that would be an awesome thing to have in your collection. So either way, I don't view it as a speculation. I just view it as a good long-term investment, in my opinion, in buying Swamp Thing number 3. So that was the news there on Swamp Thing. If you haven't seen the trailer, I would recommend watching it. It's pretty creepy. It's going to be a good show, I think. At least that's the initial impression I have of it. The other thing that was in the news on CBR was Suicide Squad number 2. A lot of people already know that Idris Elba was cast to be in the movie. So initially they said, oh yeah, he's going to be the new Deadshot because Will Smith isn't going to be in it, which kind of makes sense, right? He's a black guy. Will Smith was a black guy, although the character in the comic books is a white guy. But yeah, it made sense that, okay, he's going to be taking over the reins as Deadshot. But this article leads you to believe that it's not going to be Deadshot, that he actually may be, there's a couple different characters that he could end up being, and Deadshot may not be one of them. It says here, however, those reports were then quickly followed by the news that Deadshot had been removed from the script and that Elba is now set to play a brand new character. So yeah, this is the speculation part right here. He's either going to be Deadshot, which was the role played by Will Smith in the first movie, or he's going to be a new character. So what's the new character going to be? So one theory is that he could be either Sportsmaster or Deathstroke. So here's a image of Sportsmaster. I never heard of Sportsmaster. It sounds like an early 80s or 90s character, right? Kind of lame. I don't know. I don't know what this costume is, but it's kind of like maybe a stormtrooper mixed with a Battle Galactus Xylon. So if you want to find the first appearance, I looked this up. It took a little bit of digging, but it is Manhunter number 17, which is this book right here. This book came out in 1989. And I think that's him on the cover right there in the gold-looking color. You got Batman on the cover, so it's kind of a cool-looking cover, not bad. I went on eBay. There's a lot of them on sale for $3 to $4. This is not an expensive book. High grade, you might pay maybe $10, $15 range if you're looking for like a near mint plus copy. So I bought a few copies off of Nucadia. They were very fine plus to near mint minus range, for like a couple dollars each. So I think I got like 3 or 4 copies last night for $10 or $11. I mean, it's pretty cheap. So yeah, a little bit of this is kind of a speculation. If this sports master ends up being who he's playing, this book could easily shoot up to $15, $20, $25 range. And you can easily buy it right now on eBay for easily under $10, right? I mean, even for a really nice copy. So that's kind of the speculation, sort of the long shot. I've never heard of Sportsmaster. I don't think it's a character that's well known, so I don't know why they would choose that as his character. But, sometimes they revive. And James Gunn is known for doing that, right? I mean, no one really cared who the Guardians of the Galaxy were until he made that first movie and basically put an obscure comic book team on the map that really no one was paying attention to. So it wouldn't surprise me if James Gunn does that, if he uses Sportsmaster, who's just this sort of unknown character or villain. The other villain he could use for the movie obviously would be Deathstroke. And getting this book is definitely a really good long-term investment. I think Deathstroke is one of the best villains in the DC universe. I mean, he's basically a badass. He's like Batman, has a lot of the skill sets of Batman. He's extremely intelligent, very resourceful, knows every type of fighting style, kind of like, just like Batman does. So yeah, he's a formidable villain, no doubt about it. And I think this is a great long-term investment. But, it obviously could spike based on the Suicide Squad 2 movie. For the longest time, it's been rumored that they would have Deathstroke in a movie. And if you saw the very end credits of Superman, Batman, or was it Justice League? I think it was Justice League. Yeah, it was Justice League. They had this guy cast as Deathstroke, which his name is Joe Manganiello. And he definitely looks like Deathstroke. I mean, that guy looks spot on, like the character in the comic book. So, I don't know why they would go to Elba. I like Elba. I think he's a good actor. I like him in almost any role he plays. But I don't know that he would make. I don't know that he's going to appease what they're looking for in Deathstroke. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is going to be interesting. Suicide Squad 2, I just hope they don't have the Joker in it, because that's the only part of the movie that I really thought was poor. I mean, there's a couple little corny scenes, but there were some really cool scenes, too. That scene where Will Smith is shooting all the targets when he's in prison, that was awesome. So I was kind of mixed with Suicide Squad. There were parts of it I really liked, and there were parts of it that were extremely, extremely cringeworthy. The Joker in the club, when he puts his hand over his mouth, and oh my God, that is so cringeworthy. It's an embarrassment. So I kind of hope they don't bring back Jared Leto as the Joker. I mean, the tattoos, I mean, it's just, I mean, I know it's definitely a different version of the Joker. I just didn't care for it. I just thought it was kind of hokey. It really didn't put any fear in me. It just made me laugh. So, yeah, that's my video. I just kind of wanted to highlight that. So one speculation would be picking up Manhunter 17, first appearance of that character, Sportsmaster. That's definitely a long shot. He's either going to be Deathstroke or he's still going to be Deadshot. My bet is he's going to be Deadshot. He's just taking over Will Smith's role. That's done a lot in movies, you know, with the Iron Man movies, right? They did that with James Rhodes, so it's not out of the ordinary to do that. But yeah, I just thought that would be of some value to you guys. So if you're thinking, hey, I may want to speculate on a book, definitely the long shot, cheap book to buy is that Manhunter 17. That could take a nice rise if that character ends up being in the movie. Deathstroke, I definitely will always recommend this book because I just think it's a grail marquee book to have in your collection. It's a beautiful representative of a beautiful era in comic books. George Perez, early '80s. I mean, I love a lot of his books that he did on the Teen Titans, and this is definitely a classic. All right, guys, that's the video I had for the weekend. I wasn't, you know, this is just sort of came up last night as I was looking through some news, and I thought you guys would find it of value. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications, and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on this? Yeah, I'd be interested to know what you guys think on this. All right, I'll see you guys early next week.